right, folks, what's going on? This is episode 690 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have no clue about either of these teams going into this weekend. I look back at all the episodes I've done from 686 to 689, and I'm looking like I just don't know, especially for the Falcons. I just don't know what to make of this weekend when it comes to these teams. Georgia Southern looks like they have a pretty easy. I ain't gonna say easy because no game's easy, but not as tough. They don't have a not as tough task for ULM. So, but you never know. There might be one of them games they may try to sneak up on Georgia Southern, even though we're playing in Paulson. But the Falcons, man, they're going down to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. I don't know, man. I'll just put it like this. I'm at a point now that I really want to see, especially the Falcons. I want to see the Falcons do some great things. They're 3-3. I do not want to see them go under 500. And for the most part, I'm more nervous about them than Georgia Southern. But let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm really at a loss. If this is your first time here, welcome. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble. I am also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. I appreciate everybody who's been, supporting the show. Really, really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. After all that happened this week, when it came to these teams, it's kind of a letdown. You see what happened with the Falcons. You saw what happened with Georgia Southern when they, at this past weekend. Going into next weekend, the following weekend, these teams that they're playing, they are winnable games. I mean, they're really winnable games. It's just up to the team, especially with the Falcons, what kind of offense you're going to have. I'm not going to get too elaborate with either team. Not right now. I'd rather just watch the games and see how they play out. But this is like a dire moment. Not much for Georgia Southern. I mean, it is a Sun Belt game. You want to stay at the top of the Sun Belt in some form of fashion. But for the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, this could be a motivation killer. You're 3-3. You haven't been under 500 all season. You don't want to end up being under 500 and then lose a chance to be first place in the division. I really think that the Falcons need to make some things happen in this game, and it's going to be tough. They're going down to Tampa Bay. So, like I said in my last episode, it's gut check time. It begins, this weekend. So they need to do something. As far as Georgia Southern, I'm not really worried about them too much. I want them to take this game serious and not overlook this team and think about Georgia State the next week. I want these guys to go ahead and handle business and take care of business and show that we're ready to go up against the top teams in the Sun Belt. I mean, I think James Madison is way ahead of everybody at this season, but that doesn't mean that we can't be right there, in the hunt just in case if something happens. If they can't compete for a Sun Belt title or they end up falling, we'll be right there to actually make things happen. But it's just been a phenomenal season for Georgia Southern overall. I mean, we can't really, be, too mad about it. I mean, 4-2 already. We went 6-7 last year. I think we're going to go beyond the 6 games that we won last year. I think we'll probably end up being, 8 or 9-win team, all things said and done. But we're going to be fine as far as Georgia Southern go. Atlanta, I already talked about some things about Atlanta throughout this entire week, and I didn't get much feedback from a lot of normal guys that are Atlanta Falcons fans that come to this channel. They probably watched the episode and just kept it moving, but not much feedback. I think a lot of people are starting to realize, like, hey, the next, 4 games are on the road, and you're at home, road, home, road, home, road, home, and 2 on the road. So it's like back to back. So you're going to be traveling a lot. You're not going to, I'm not even sure. I think it's a bye week coming up. Let me look. Let me make sure. Do we have a bye week or we used our bye? I think we used our bye week when we went to London. So I don't think we have a bye week left. So we're in it for the long haul. And no, I take that back. I think we have one after November, the 12th. I could be wrong. 12. Then the next is the 19th. Yeah. Yeah. So we do have one in November. So okay, we do have one. So that's good. And I guess that's where we're gonna be standing at that point. So we're gonna have to find a way to really, buckle down and make things happen between that, because we play the Cardinals, then we got a bye week, then we play the Saints. So I'm really worried about the Falcons for the most part. I'm pretty nervous about them, like I said in my last episode. But I'm just really hoping that they can make something happen, because even if they do lose this game, the season isn't lost if they lose to the Buccaneers. But you got to understand, we got to start winning some road games. I mean, we haven't won a road game yet, and we got to start getting at least 3 or 4 road wins just to make this look good. And I mean, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, got 7 road games. Win about 4 of them, you may be all right. Yeah, and you win 4 of those and 4 at home. And then, I mean, that gives you what, 8 wins? I mean, plus 3 to 11 win season. That's a tall task for the Falcons, man. That's on, like, I'm sitting here like, what's going to happen? A lot of people could talk about X's and O's and this, that, and the third. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's great. But I don't think right now this is I mean, from a guy that's behind the microphone, this is not a situation where we're going to sit and talk X's and O's. The Falcons need to go out there and smack some people around. Defensively, we're already doing it. And offensively, we need to do it as well. Also goes with Georgia Southern. When it comes to Georgia Southern, they're going to have to smack some people around too. The next 3 or 4 games, I want you to just, smack some dudes around and show them that you're at the top of the Sun Belt. Show the Falcons need to show that they could be one of the top teams in the NFC. You just win the division, you're automatically one of the top 4 teams if you win a division. So, I mean, just show these guys what you're capable of doing. We have a defense that's on par with the Eagles and the 49ers. I think Dallas, I think we're like in the top 5 or top 6 in defense. But the offense can't get it going. And you got a coach here that they're not doing the best with the play calling. And they got to do something better. You get that together, get Desmond Ridder on a roll, you're going to have some success, but you can't do it like this. You got to do a little bit better. So I feel like they could be done, but I'm really nervous about it because we're about to go in hostile territory. And I think that we could do it, but I'm not even going to sit here and sugarcoat it. The way things went last game, I'm very, very nervous, and I'm not sure if it can happen, but hopefully they can shut me up yet again. We'll see. I'm going to cut this one short. It's Friday. It was kind of similar to the show on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday when I did the show. You don't have much else to say, but we'll have a lot to talk about this weekend once these games play out, especially, the Falcons game. Georgia Southern, then we're going to be all right. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get up out of here. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts. You guys have been amazing. I can't thank you guys enough. I can be found on X at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Have a good weekend. See you soon. Peace.